Every legend has a story, but some stories are written in blood, sweat, and pain. Today, we're diving deep into the world of a man who never gave up, a man whose strength isn't just in his muscles, but in his mindset. This is the untold journey of John Cena, the powerhouse who turned struggle into success. And if you love watching such real, inspiring stories, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, because we're bringing you another unbelievable story very soon. Also, tell us in the comments, which city are you watching from? We'd love to know where our amazing viewers are joining us from. Every time John Cena walks into the ring, the lights, the crowd, the energy, everything changes. But behind that roar, there's a question that never fades. What makes this man so powerful? Is it genetics? Is it his workout? Or is it something deeper? Something only pain can teach? People see the muscles, the fame, the smile. But what they don't see is the struggle, the discipline, the early mornings, and the lonely nights when no one was watching. John Cena wasn't born a legend. He built himself, piece by piece, day by day. He once said, "You can't see me, but today we will see. We'll see the pain, the sacrifice, and the fire that forged the man you know today." Before the fame, before the spotlight, he was just a small-town kid from Massachusetts. A kid who dreamed of being strong, while everyone around him laughed. He was bullied, told he'd never make it, and every insult, every failure, became fuel for something greater. At 15, Cena stepped into a small, old gym for the first time. The equipment was rusty, the air smelled like metal and sweat. But for him, that place was paradise. He didn't have a personal trainer or fancy supplements. He had hunger, raw, pure, unstoppable hunger. He failed countless times, wrong form, missed lifts, exhaustion. But every single time, he came back stronger. Because Cena learned something most people never do. Progress is slow, but quitting is faster. He went to school in the morning, worked out in the evening, and planned his next routine at night. No parties, no distractions, no excuses, just pure focus. And while others were chasing fun, Cena was chasing greatness. He once said, "Strength doesn't come from winning. Your struggles develop your strength." That's exactly what he lived by. Every rep was rebellion. Every drop of sweat was a promise that one day he would be unbreakable. Today, when we see Cena in the ring, we see a superstar, strong, confident, unbeatable. But if you look closer, you'll see something else. Every scar, every muscle, every move tells a story, the story of a man who refused to give up. No matter what happens, I will never give up. That's not just a quote. That's his way of life. That's the secret behind his power. And this is just the beginning, because in the next part, we'll go even deeper to the first training days of John Cena, how he transformed his body from nothing, and the powerful habits that changed his life forever. So stay tuned, because this story has only just begun. Before the world called him a hero, before the bright lights and championship belts, John Cena was just another skinny kid with a dream too big for his small town. He wasn't born strong. He became strong. In school, Cena wasn't the biggest, the fastest, or the most popular. He was the quiet kid sitting in the back, the one people ignored, the one others laughed at. He remembers those days clearly. He once said, "People told me I couldn't do it, that I wasn't built for it. And I believed them for a while. But one day, something changed." He looked in the mirror and said, "If I don't believe in myself, no one else will." That single moment, that one decision, was the spark that started everything. He joined a small local gym. Not one of those fancy fitness centers. Just a dim, rusty place filled with the smell of sweat and iron. The first time he picked up a weight, it was heavier than he expected. His arm shook. His body wanted to quit, but his mind whispered, "One more rep." And that's how it began. Day after day, he returned to that same gym. No trainer, no camera, no applause. Just him, his willpower, and a burning desire to become something more. His friends were out having fun, but Cena was building his foundation. While others slept, he lifted. While others doubted, he believed. He started learning from bodybuilders, studying every detail. How to lift, how to eat, how to grow. And little by little, his body began to change. The same people who once called him weak were now asking him for gym advice. But Cena didn't stop. He wasn't doing it to prove them wrong anymore. He was doing it to prove himself right. He started training 6 days a week, pushing his body to limits no one thought possible. He trained until his hands tore, his muscles screamed, and his body begged him to rest. But he didn't stop, because deep down Cena knew the pain was building something powerful. He said, "If something stands between you and your success, move it. Never be denied." Those weren't just words. That was his lifestyle. Soon, his body transformed, from a skinny teenager into a powerhouse. But the real transformation wasn't in his muscles. It was in his mind. He had discovered what very few people ever find: the connection between pain and progress. That gym became his home. The weights, his language. The struggle, his teacher. Every time he lifted a barbell, he wasn't just training his body. He was shaping his destiny. Because Cena understood something powerful. Greatness doesn't come from comfort. It comes from struggle. That's why today, when people see him, they don't just see strength. They see discipline. They see focus. They see a man who refused to let weakness define him. From that skinny boy who was bullied, to the man who inspired millions. This was just the beginning of the legend known as John Cena. And in the next part, we'll step deeper into his transformation, his real workout routine, the schedule that shaped his body and mind, and the method behind the madness that made him unstoppable. Because the world may see his glory, but only he knows the grind. When John Cena walks into the gym, it's not for selfies, it's for war. He doesn't train to look good. He trains to become unbreakable. Most people go to the gym for an hour. Cena, he lives there. 5 days a week, sometimes 6. Every session designed with military precision. He treats every workout like a mission. No distractions, no shortcuts, no excuses. Because to Cena, the gym isn't just a place. It's a battlefield where weakness dies. Cena follows a 5-day workout split, each day attacking different muscle groups with insane intensity. Day 1: legs, squats, lunges, leg presses. Heavy, controlled, brutal. He says, if your legs are weak, your strength is fake. And he means it. Because real power starts from the ground up. Day 2, chest and triceps. Bench press, dips, push-ups. No fancy machines, just pure compound lifts. Cena believes the basics never fail. Consistency does. Day 3, back and biceps. Deadlifts, pull-ups, barbell rows. These are the movements that built his thickness. The kind of back that tells a story of years under the bar. Day 4, shoulders. Military press, dumbbell raises, shrugs. Every rep is about control. Not throwing the weight, but mastering it. Day 5, arms. Isolation curls. Triceps pushdowns, hammer curls. He calls this his polished day. Not for show, but to complete the balance of strength. And every single set has meaning. He never trains to failure. He trains to dominate. For Cena, training isn't about ego. He's not there to lift the heaviest weight in the room. He's there to lift with purpose. He once said, "I don't lift to impress anyone. I lift to improve myself." He focuses on form, control, and discipline because he knows a strong body without control is just a body waiting to break. He takes long rests, controls his breathing, and times every workout down to the second. Everything is planned. Everything is intentional. That's why even after decades, he's still performing like a machine. While others burn out, Cena evolves. When Cena trains, his face is calm. No shouting, no showing off. Just focus. Because for him, the gym isn't therapy. It's truth. The weights never lie. If you skip a day, they'll remind you. If you cheat, they'll expose you. He says, in the gym, you can't fake effort. The iron knows. That's why he respects it. That's why he fears it. And that's why it made him who he is. There's a reason Cena still trains like he did 20 years ago. Because he doesn't rely on motivation. He relies on discipline. He doesn't wait to feel like training. He trains no matter what. Rain, pain, or exhaustion, it doesn't matter. To him, missing a workout is like breaking a promise to himself. And that's what separates John Cena from everyone else. Not his size, not his fame, but his consistency. Day after day, year after year, he shows up. He gives everything. He earns everything. That's why he's not just strong. He's relentless. In the next part, we'll uncover the other half of his power. The diet that fuels this machine. What he eats, when he eats, and how his food is just as disciplined as his workouts. Because as Cena says, you can't out-train a bad diet. So stay tuned. The next part reveals the secret Cena diet plan. And trust me, it's tougher than his workouts. They say abs are built in the gym, but John Cena knows. They're revealed in the kitchen. You can train for hours, lift the heaviest weights, and still never look like Cena, because the real discipline begins at the table. John Cena doesn't eat, he fuels. Every bite, every meal, every calorie has a purpose. He treats food like fuel for a race car. If you put in junk, the engine fails. If you put in precision fuel, the machine roars. He eats up to 7 meals a day, spread evenly, every few hours. Not because he's greedy, but because his body demands constant energy to rebuild, repair, and grow stronger. Cena's day begins early. Before the sun even rises, he's already in motion. His first meal, oatmeal, fruits, protein powder, and eggs. Simple, clean, efficient. He says, breakfast sets the tone for the day. If you start lazy, you'll stay lazy. That's why his first meal is all business. High protein, moderate carbs, and no excuses. A few hours later, Cena eats again. Chicken breast, brown rice, and vegetables. He doesn't chase flavor. He chases results. He believes eating is part of training. You might find it boring. He finds it powerful, because every meal takes him one step closer to being unbeatable. Before the gym, Cena eats for performance. Usually whole wheat pasta, vegetables, and lean meat. No sugar, no fast food, no cheat meals before training. Only clean, complex carbs that give him lasting energy. He doesn't want a sugar rush. He wants endurance, because his workouts are marathons, not sprints. After training, it's time to rebuild. Cena's post-workout meal is a shake, packed with whey protein, banana, and peanut butter. He knows the first 30 minutes after a workout are the most crucial. That's when your body is hungry for repair. So he feeds it what it needs. Not junk, not comfort food, but pure recovery fuel. Dinner is where Cena reloads his system. Fish, vegetables, and rice. lean protein and clean carbs balanced perfectly. It's not about taste. It's about tomorrow's strength. He says, I eat today for the man I need to be tomorrow. Even before sleeping, Cena eats clean. Cottage cheese, protein supplements, or casein shakes. Because muscle doesn't grow while you're training. It grows while you sleep. And Cena makes sure his body never runs out of fuel. That's the secret. Consistency. He eats on time, every time. No excuses. No skipping. Cena doesn't believe in cheat days. He believes in control. If he ever eats something off plan, it's measured, not emotional. He says, you can't control everything in life, but you can control what you put in your body. And that's exactly what he does, every single day. But here's what most people don't understand. John Cena's diet isn't just about food. It's about discipline. It's about keeping a promise to himself. He eats clean because it reflects who he is. Focused, consistent, and relentless. Every meal is a reminder that greatness isn't built in one big step. It's built in 1,000 small, disciplined choices. And that's why, even at nearly 50, John Cena still looks like a superhero. Not because of genetics, but because of commitment. He treats every day like day one, every meal like fuel, every bite like progress. In the next part, we'll go beyond the gym and kitchen, into Cena's daily lifestyle, his habits and mental discipline that shape him into the unstoppable icon we know today. Because physical strength is visible, but mental strength, that's what truly makes John Cena legendary. They say greatness is built in the gym, but John Cena's greatness was built everywhere else. Because when the weights are down and the cameras are off, that's when his real discipline begins. Cena's life runs like clockwork. Every morning, he wakes up before sunrise, no alarm needed. He doesn't wake up to train. He trains because he's already awake. From the moment his feet touch the ground, his day follows a precise rhythm. Training, eating, reading, working, sleeping, everything planned, everything executed. He says, if you control your day, you control your destiny. And that's how he lives. Not by chance, but by choice. While most people spend hours scrolling through their phones, Cena spends his time building himself. He believes time is his most valuable weapon, and he refuses to waste it. He reads motivational books, studies human behavior, and even practices gratitude every single morning. He writes down what he's thankful for, not because life is easy, but because he knows success without humility is nothing but ego. John Cena lives by one rule: discipline equals freedom. It might sound strange, but to him, freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from doing what's right, even when it's hard. He doesn't drink, doesn't party, doesn't chase fame. While others sleep in, he's already 2 hours into his day. He once said, I don't need motivation. I have responsibility. That's why he never burns out. Because he's not chasing excitement. He's living with purpose. Despite his fame, Cena spends most of his free time alone. No noise, no chaos, just silence. He meditates, reflects, and resets. He believes mental health is just as important as muscle health. Because a strong body means nothing if your mind is broken. He says, in silence, I hear the truth. And that's where he finds balance. Not in applause, but in peace. Even when he's filming movies, doing interviews, or traveling across the world, Cena never skips his routine. He carries his discipline everywhere. Waking early, eating clean, training hard. On movie sets, he finds a quiet corner to stretch and warm up. He packs his own food, tracks his meals, and trains between scenes. He's not trying to find time. He makes time. Because to Cena, discipline isn't something you do. It's something you are. For a man who's done it all, 16-time world champion, Hollywood actor, global star, Cena still lives like a student. He greets every crew member on set. He shakes hands, says thank you, and never forgets where he came from. He says, the day you think you've made it is the day you start falling. And that's why he's still rising. No matter where he is, no matter how tired he gets, Cena shows up. Rain, travel, injuries, it doesn't matter. He believes that excuses are the language of the weak. He says, you can make progress, or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. And that's what defines his life. Not his fame, not his physique, but his relentless consistency. John Cena's legacy isn't just about championships. It's about character, about what happens when no one's watching. He's proof that discipline can outlast motivation, talent, and luck. Because true greatness isn't built in moments of spotlight. It's built in the quiet hours when nobody sees your effort. And in the next part, we go deeper into the mind of the man himself. John Cena's mental strength and philosophy. The mindset that kept him undefeated in life. Even when the odds were impossible. Because muscles fade. But mindset, that's forever. Every legend has an end. But some stories never fade. Because some men don't just live. They leave a legacy. And John Cena is one of those men. After decades in the spotlight, millions of fans, thousands of matches, and countless victories, John Cena still says, I'm just a man trying to be better every day. No arrogance, no ego, just gratitude. That's the secret most people miss. Cena's greatness didn't come from being perfect. It came from being real. He showed the world that heroes can fall, struggle, doubt, and still rise again, stronger, wiser, and kinder. From wrestling rings to Hollywood screens, Cena built a career brick by brick, not through shortcuts, but through relentless work. He became the face of discipline, the voice of motivation, and the example of consistency. Even his haters had to admit, you can't fake 20 years of showing up. But Cena's legacy isn't measured in titles or trophies. It's measured in lives. In the kids battling illness whom he visits quietly, without cameras. In the fans he's inspired to get up and chase their dreams again. In the soldiers he's thanked, and the millions he's reminded that "You can't see me" isn't just a slogan. It's a message. You can't see my limits, because I don't have any. Today, Cena stands as more than an athlete. He's a teacher, a mentor, a symbol of what discipline can create. He inspires not just by lifting weights, but by lifting spirits. He tells young athletes, don't chase fame, chase purpose. Don't look for easy days, look for meaningful ones. He says, success isn't owned, it's rented, and rent is due every day. And that line has become the mantra of millions. Maybe that's the real power of John Cena. Not the championships, not the muscles, but the mindset he leaves behind. He proved that you can be tough and humble, powerful and kind, unstoppable and human, because real strength isn't about never falling. It's about rising every time you do. As he moves into new chapters, movies, charity, and beyond, one thing remains unchanged. His discipline, his message, his heart. He may not be in the ring every night anymore, but his spirit still is. In every gym, in every dream, in every person who refuses to give up. John Cena's story isn't just about success. It's about resilience, about doing the hard thing every single day. He once said, never give up, because the moment you do, someone else will take your place. And that's the truth of life. The world belongs to those who keep going when it's hardest to continue. So when you think of John Cena, don't just think of the muscles, the fame, or the victories. Think of the man who never stopped working, who never stopped learning, who never stopped believing. Because one day, the lights will fade, but his message will remain. Discipline, humility, strength. That's John Cena's legacy, and it will live forever. If stories of strength inspire you, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from, because another powerful story is coming soon.